1UP's annual All-Star Night here in Iowa Speedway this year for the 1UP Superstar Series. For the first time in quite a long time, this All-Star Weekend has a brand new home here in Newton, Iowa, where for 30 laps right here and now, some of 1UP's hopefuls will try and race their way into the All-Star race itself later on in the weekend. And just because these guys haven't locked themselves into the All-Star race yet, there is still no shortage of top-level talent in this field, and it's a shame we can only send 2 of them to the big dance later on, plus the fan vote winner, which we will announce at the end of the 30 laps here in this race. And alongside me in the booth to bring you all the action for this All-Star Open is Jesse Turner, back with us once again. Great to have you with us. This is the precursor, the lead up to the All-Star race. 23 drivers going for broke to try and make this All-Star race, because only 3 of them will advance. Only 2 of those will get in on speed.
Oh, of course, yeah. These guys here in the Open. I mean, it does give them their own little spotlight. It's only them on the track for 30 laps to try and make the 3 spots to advance to the big show. But once they do that, they got a shot at big-time notoriety. They want to be up there with the all-time greats, and winning this All-Star race would be a great way to do that.
So far, I do not believe we have had a driver win the All-Star race after transferring from the Open. Will we see that happen today? We'll find out at the end of 30 laps here and at the end of 70 laps in the All-Star race. But we've got to set those spots first. And with that being said, we're able to now bring you the starting lineup, 23 cars strong. And like I said, we have no shortage of top-level talent in this Open. Case in point, the front 2 rows. Henry Thomas on pole position, looking for a way into the All-Star race, trying to transfer in after such a long winless streak. Brian Grigsby, he's the hot sensation of the Superstar Series as of this moment. He has had so many opportunities to win these races as of late. Wouldn't he love to win this Open and transfer into the All-Star race, where he can really shine against 1UP's best? Behind him, we have some guys from top-level teams that didn't quite make it to the All-Star race, but I'm sure would have loved to transfer in here. Zayden Davidson out of Revolution Racing lining up 3rd. Patrick Smith out of Fingai Saitomi Motorsports lining up 4th. All of their teammates are locked into the All-Star race. They are not, so it would be a real shame if those guys were to be the one representative from their team to go home empty-handed at the end of this Open, wouldn't you say?
Oh, for sure. And I would also even consider some of the Stormbreak teammates. You got James Ellison, Bobo Jones, looking for a little redemption to join Stephen Hunter up in the main show, and as well as Zachary Fitzwater and Brian Grigsby for the Fitzwater Australia team, looking to join Ryan Caggiano, their teammate in the big show. So, yeah, just a whole hodgepodge of, drivers and teams varying in experience, but that end goal of advancing the main show is just what's on their mind. That they'll do whatever it takes to get that done.
So with that being said, we have 23 drivers ready to try and make their claim into the All-Star race, but only 30 laps separating them from their dream of making it happen. Who will make it in? We'll find out then. Stay tuned for this one. It's the 1UP All-Star Open, and the green flag set to get this great race underway in just a short while. Stay tuned for that. It's going to be a fun one from start to finish. Who will make it into the big dance and who will have to wait another year? It is Thomas and Grigsby on row 1, leading us to the restart zone. The green flag's in the air. We're racing for 30 laps in the All-Star Open, and it looks as though that number 9 car of Brian Grigsby got a better launch, and he's going to lead the charge down into turn 1. Can he force Henry Thomas down into a tighter line than he wants to run as the field barrels down the back straightaway into turn 3? Who will get the opening jump and who will lead the first of 30 laps in this Open?
Thomas and Grigsby neck and neck. Grigsby in the number 9 Motorola car is going to just edge Henry Thomas. Zayden Davidson, Patrick Smith are looking on the top 2. Henry Thomas not giving up, though. Got a lot of determination.
Yeah, but I think even he knows he's got to give way here because that 9 car is just very strong in the opening portion of this race. He has had an electric run of form in the last few races, has Brian Grigsby, and look at him sailing off straight into our camera there as he leads lap number 2 as well. He's starting to pull a bit of a gap over the likes of Thomas and Davidson, who battle for second position behind them. Patrick Smith under fire a little bit from Nick Ortiz. Zachary Fitzwater lurking back there as well. But right now, at least in the opening stages of this race, it looks to be a battle for the second of the two transfer spots between Henry Thomas and Zayden Davidson.
Still remaining nose to tail, the 91 and the 22 trying to engage battle right there. You see Fitzwater in the 59 up into 6th place. And the Stormbreak teammates are also there in the top 10 as well. Aaron Hall and Joseph Strigley running out the top 10. So nice to see that 19 of Aaron Hall and Strigley, who have Strigley's hardly made any names this season. So that'll be another one of his goals, just to at least make one of these exhibition races. But Strigley looking real good under the 19.
And it's good to see this 19 car back on track as well, with all the controversy and drama surrounding that team and it being picked up by Fair & Co. Racing. They're allowing Aaron Hall to continue his campaign in Superstar competition with them, and it's good to see him in the top 10 position. Hopefully he'll be able to climb a little further up the order than that. But as they run right now, Brian Grigsby with an almost 3/4 of a second lead. Oh, and ahead of this battle for the second and final transfer spot between Thomas, Davidson, and Patrick Smith. 3 powerhouse race teams, but only one of them will send their driver to the big race.
Backing up the 91 and the 59, running 5th and 6th. But the second place car of Henry Thomas already almost a full second behind Brian Grigsby. We'll have to see what the interval is once we get to the start-finish line, as you see the packed crowd here in Newton, Iowa, supporting these guys in this race today. Henry Thomas was able to dwindle it down just a little bit, maybe like a 10th or so, but not by much. That 9 is just on cruise control.
And Thomas has to be careful because he's got a couple of hungry drivers behind him as well in the battle for second place. Looking further back, James Ellison leading Bobo Jones, his teammate Aaron Hall in the 19. You were talking about Joseph Shrigley in the 36. You're right, has only made 2 of the 9 points races this season. Hopefully he's able to rebound, although he did take a bit of a gamble jumping way into the deep end for his first full-time foray into one-up competition. He's had a bit of a struggle lately, but hopefully he can get back on his feet soon as he leads Brian Reed in 11th spot, Cody Goforth in 12th, and Roberto Crown Jr. right behind him in the 13th position. Behind him, William Brock. He's our biggest mover of the race so far. He started down in 23rd place. He's already picked up about 8 or 9 spots since this green flag dropped.
Well, impressive climb by William Brock indeed. Basically shocking on the field, and there's Danny Bouchard and Logan Williams. They started near the back as well. And there's the 62 of Jensen Noman. I think he may have gotten some right side damage somewhere.
Yeah, he has. He has, because he started this race up in the 8th position, and he's already fallen down to 19th, so he's going in the opposite direction that William Brock is. But with Austin Liang bringing up the rear of this open field, we cut back to our front of the field with Brian Grigsby now enjoying a 1.2 second advantage. But you were right, that 62 looked to be hurt, and it might be costing him some speed.
Now when Noman needed it all, and he'll have to hope one of these drivers screws up and they got a caution so he can maybe work on his car a little bit. But now it's over a second officially that Henry Thomas is behind Brian Grigsby. And Davidson and Smith are just doing their best to stay in touch with Henry Thomas, but because those transfer positions are ever so valuable. I mean, Henry Thomas can afford to give up 1. He can't afford to give up 2, though. He's got to make sure he, blockades for that second position the best he can. But this is just what Brian Grigsby loves to see. No competition at all around him.
And the thing about Henry Thomas is he can't even afford to give up that second spot, because it's only the top 2 that transfer to the All-Star race from this Open. So he is on a life support right now, trying to fend off all he can for the second position, because third place gets nothing at the end of the day. Second and first are the 2 that transfer on, but he's going to be under a lot of pressure here from Zayden Davidson, who looks to his inside, trying to get that runners-up spot away, and Thomas is going to have to fight and claw his way either back into second or slot in behind the 4 or even the 22 to try and mount a charge of his own later on as we enter the second half of this open.
Now, as these three guys are fighting along with each other, I'd pay attention to the 91 of Ortiz, because if they get competitive enough, that 91 may also be a factor in this, because he's watching this battle take place in front of him, I guarantee you. And he just knows that as long as he saves his tires, if he saves his potential, then he can run down the 16 and the 22 and possibly the 4. But time is ticking down. These laps go by pretty fast around this track.
Yeah, now Henry Thomas is in a world of hurt. He's getting passed by Patrick Smith, the pole sitter, falling all the way down to 4th place. And Bobo Jones in this one car is also going in the wrong direction. He was running in the top 10 just a few laps ago. He is now faded down to about 13. So this one car, he's going to need a lot of help if he's going to get his way back up. Oh, and he almost caught the wall out of turn 2. It's going to be something we're going to have to keep an eye on during that All-Star race as well. Those guys are going to be a lot more aggressive in that race and expect a lot more happenings in that race. But for now, we've got Grigsby with a 2-second lead over Davidson, who has the final transfer spot for the moment over Patrick Smith, with Henry Thomas trying to play catch-up.
I see down in 10th, Ryan Reed is the newest name up in the top 10. Good job to him and that number 58 John Deere ride, but of course with only 10 laps to go, he's got to gain just about a position a lap if he wants to advance up to Davidson is. But now I think Patrick Smith has that best possibility to get around that 4 car. We'll have to see how well he can negotiate around him. Obviously he's caught him. He knows how to stick to the rear bumper of the 4, but passing him is a whole different thing, and that is what he has to figure out.
And with Grigsby occupying the lead transfer spot, that means 2 of our powerhouse organizations that have a car in this All-Star Open, 2 of them are not going to see all of their cars make it, because Revolution Racing, Davidson's trying to join his 2 teammates, Patrick Smith's trying to join his 3 teammates, Henry Thomas likewise has 3 teammates in the All-Star race, so they can't all make it. I'd love for them to have all been able to make it, but sadly there's only room for 2, plus the fan vote winner. But looking further back, we've got Ryan Reed trying to hang on to a top 10 position over the likes of Goforth and Crown. James Ellison now taking a look on Zachary Fitzwater. That is for 6th spot, but it might be a little too late for these guys. They have to gain a lot of speed in a short amount of time if they're going to catch this purple and white number 4. That is everybody's target right now.
There's Smith trying to keep up with the 4 of Davidson. He's trying to do his best to just hang in the tri-tracks, but as you see, he's just mimicking his line around the racetrack. That's not really what he needs to be doing. We only got 6 laps to go here, coming to 5. He's got to try something different. He's got to go to a different area around the racetrack, or maybe change the way he enters the corner and exits the corner. He's got to try something different. Same thing can be applied to Henry Thomas as well.
I think Henry Thomas has burned the good out of his tires already. He was trying so long and so hard to defend that transfer spot from Zayden Davidson, and I think he's burned out his tires in the process. He's already fallen half a second behind Patrick Smith in the 22, who's also falling almost a half second behind Zayden Davidson. So I think Grigsby, barring an issue for that 9 car, he's going to be safe to transfer in. But we now have 5 laps to go in this All-Star Open. It's going to come down to if Patrick Smith is able to mount a late race rally to catch Zayden Davidson and pass him to put the 22 into the All-Star race.
And if you're Brian Grigsby right now, thankfully you don't have to worry about any of this affecting you right now. And yet Henry Thomas, he's already over 2.5 seconds behind, so he may be out of it. So this is going to be the main battle. We are likely going to focus on Davidson versus Smith. Grigsby's, far ahead. He doesn't have to worry about it, and he might collect his first unofficial checker flag of the season. At least he'll get to win something should things remain the same in another 3 laps.
And of course, that'd be a big deal for the Fitzwater Australia team to get 2 of their cars into the All-Star race. But for Smith and for Davidson, there's only room in the main dance for one of them. and we only have 2.5 laps left to decide it. I did notice, though, Davidson and Smith have been closing the gap to Grigsby by about a tenth or two a lap. They're probably not going to catch him, but it is worth noting that the 9 may have ran his stuff out, building that big a lead, as we now have 2 laps to go.
That's right. Davidson was able to cut out another couple of tenths onto Grigsby. That 9 car looking to get a little bit weak, and he's thankful that there's only 30 laps in this race. You see Smith trying to reel in. Davidson will have 7/8 of a mile to do it. Meanwhile, Brian Grigsby is 7/8 of a mile on his way to the win here in this Open.
With 1 lap remaining, it has been the Brian Grigsby show all day long. He got the jump on Henry Thomas at the start. He's led every lap up to this point, and I don't see anything that's stopping him from cruising his way to lead to lap number 30 as well. So through turn 4, for the final time, it will be Brian Grigsby winning the All-Star Open, transferring into the main event, and it will be Zayden Davidson holding off Patrick Smith. The 4 is in, the 22 is out, but that was such a hard-fought battle for both of those drivers. That is something that I am excited to see more of in that all-star race. Henry Thomas comes up short in 4th as well. However, we still got one more spot to settle in this race. We're trying to find our fan vote winner as he makes his way around. And with an overwhelming majority of the popular vote by our fans and through peers as well, you're looking at him right there. The Gold Peak Honda of Cody Goforth. He may have only finished 11th in this Open, but the people have spoken, and he will take the final spot in the main event.
That's fantastic for Goforth. That is such a big prize to know that the fans have your back, and he's definitely done enough for himself to make himself, get a good reputation in the one-up garage. So that's cool for Goforth, but even cooler for Grigsby and Davidson as they get to carry on for a shot at some big-time glory here in the main show.
And for the likes of Patrick Smith, Henry Thomas, Nick Ortiz, and everyone else who came up a little bit short today, they still got some points races to look forward to in the coming weeks where the real prizes are paid. So this is just a minor setback. They'll be back ready to go this time next week. But we're not done with the racing in store for this weekend. We'll see you guys again sometime soon, hopefully not too long from now, for the actual All-Star race. 70 laps there, with some of One-Up's finest and our transfer drivers getting ready to battle for all the glory. So until we see you then, from Jesse Turner, from myself as well, thanks for joining us for this All-Star Open. We'll see you again soon for the All-Star race, where One-Up's absolute finest are going to battle it out for all the glory. Stay tuned. Going to be a good one, I bet.